Hi, this is Fred with Quality One Engravers. I'm going to show you how to utilize the different colors that are available in EngraveLab. I'm going to start with a different plate size. I have a hotkey, Control-Alt-P, which of course doesn't seem to be working. There it goes. I'm going to make the width 12 inches, tab key 12 by 12, and say OK. And I'm going to click on my text tool, and I'm just going to type some text in here. I'm going to swipe through it, change it to one of my engraving fonts, make it normal block. And this text right here, as you can see, is 3/8. I'm going to change it to 1/4 of an inch. And let's say that I have this text, Control D. I'm going to duplicate it a few times all around the engraving area. Okay, here's a 1/4 inch text that I have around the engraving area. I'm going to select all of it. Actually, I'm going to just select this one here. I'm going to change this text to be 1/2 inch text. So you might have some large text and some small text on your screen. Now I know this is normal block lettering, and maybe I'll even have a couple of these. Maybe I'll use the array feature and go Y and kick that down a little bit. Let's say I have some text mixed in here, and close. And then I'm going to just show you some features. I'm going to select this, hold the Alt key, and copy that down here. So let's say this is my text that I'm duplicating, and I have various text intermingled with other text. So this, like I told you, was 1/4 inch lettering. I'm going to go to my little calculator here, and I know that I'm going to use the 1/8 rule. So this is 0.25 letter divided by 8, and that means I use an 030 cutter. So all of this smaller text here, I'm going to label P30. Probably could have selected a better color than that gray for P30, but that will do. So I'm going to select all of these and make them all P30. So everything that's P30, I'm going to use a 30 cutter. And you can see my palette up here. If you don't see that, you have to go to View, Palettes, and make sure you have Show Job Palette selected. Now this larger text, I know this was 0.5 high, and I know that's a 60 cutter, but again, I could use my little trusty calculator and put in 0.5 divided by 8, and that's an 060 cutter. 063, 060. So I'm going to select this and use my arrow key to move over to get to 60. Now that's 60, and this, I'll click on 60. So now I've got intermingled text, and I could have several different text. I could maybe duplicate this just one more time, Control D to duplicate it. I'm going to swipe through it, and I'm going to change this 0.375, and now 0.375, this one's going to be a 45 cutter. So oops, select 45. So now I have 3 colors. I have a 30, a 45, and a 60. So it seems not a big deal, but maybe you want to engrave just the P30 layer first. So I always try and tell my people when they're selecting these, if you want to get an A in the class, hold down the Alt key, and you click on whatever color that you want. So let's say it's P30. Now you'll see the P45 and P60 are actually all of the other colors are grayed out, and you cannot select those. The only thing that you can select is just the P30. So now when I go to engrave this, engrave and output, no objects to select, engrave, engraving defaults, and because I have it in a braille cutter, you change it to burnishing. And I go engrave and output. Now you'll see that the only thing that's available to engrave is just the gray. And if you click on this little zoom to material, Here's your material, your plate size, and the bed size that you have available. I have it set up for a 24 by 48, and then this is how it's going to be in landscape on my machine. So I'm going to close that out because I don't want to engrave it. Once that's engraved, I can hold the Alt key down again and click on P30, and it brings it back. Now, if for a reason I want to hold down the Alt key and click on P30, and I could hold the Control key and click on P45 to add it. So you can use the Control and the Alt key, but for the most part, if you just use the Alt key, you can usually get by with almost everything that you need. So now I want to engrave just the P60 text. Again, hold down the Alt key because I want to A in the class, and now the only items that I can select are just the P60. And of course, when I go to engrave and output, that's the only thing available to me. You can use this for tool size. You can use it for a sequence number. Let's say you're doing this first, that second, this third, and so forth. It's a real handy tool to use, and I have found that it's very, very useful. I hope this helped. Thanks.